Originally hailing from the Greenville area, Jim Patterson went from managing a grocery store to becoming a licensed financial advisor in 1968. Jim took a position working for Parker Hunter Investment Brokers in Meadville. In 1977, Jim and his family moved to Meadville. Jim had many area working relationships and was approached to serve with area organizations like Kiwanis and the Meadville Foundation, the fundraising arm of Meadville Medical Center. During his 25 years with Kiwanis, Jim says buying winter coats for children at Christmas time was something he and his wife Molly looked forward to each year. They knew their support was truly going to help people within the community that had a real need. Jim is also proud of the work the Meadville Foundation did when they saw an area of need. Jim served on the foundation as chairman, vice chairman, and secretary. When the Meadville Medical Center wanted to purchase a machine that could speed up the turnaround time for diagnosis of breast cancer in area women, they raised $500,000 to attain that equipment. The Meadville Foundation would also branch out on the capital campaign for the Yolanda Barco Oncology Center, which allows local cancer patients to receive treatments much closer to home instead of traveling to larger metro areas for the same treatments. Since 1996, Jim has served on the Greendale Cemetery Board and is its current president. The board works to oversee the maintenance and beautification of the grounds. They also spearhead the fundraising efforts for the cemetery's continual care. In 2005, Jim was approached by Gail Knapp to volunteer time working with APRISE, the insurance group of Active Aging, Inc. APRISE works with seniors during the open enrollment period in Medicare. During that time, Jim meets with people for a one-on-one meeting to pick their plans. Jim's background as a financial advisor helps in knowing all the ins and outs of all the choices within the plans. Jim usually meets with 60 to 70 people during this period. According to Jim, a lot of seniors in this area need help with their health care choices, and it feels good to be able to give back and be able to support so many people over the years. Through his time and talents, the contribution Jim Patterson has made to the various organizations for which he served has enhanced the lives of many in the Meadville community.
I would first like to thank my nominator, Mr. Thomas Ritchie, who's no longer a close friend, but I still love him. And also the Wesbury Foundation for this honor. The reason that I have so-called given back to the community is I think it's important as we progress in our life that there are always people doing poorer than we are, and we have an opportunity to help a lot of, be they seniors, be they children, but we have an opportunity to give back to the community, which is most important to many of us.
Fridays Are Free is a monthly dinner hosted by the Christ United Methodist Church in Franklin that reaches out to their community with a free homemade meal for those who attend. The program is coordinated by retired elementary school teacher Susan Slaughterback. Susan brought the idea of a free community dinner to the women's ministry in fall of 2008, and they had their first dinner in May of 2009. At that first Fridays Are Free, 70 people came. Over the past 8 years, attendance has grown to almost 200 people. It is through Susan's warm heart and gifts of hospitality mixed with the gift of support from Christ United Methodist that makes Fridays Are Free such a successful endeavor. The work begins on Wednesday afternoon when Susan goes shopping for the month's homemade meal. With the help of 25 volunteers on Thursday and Friday, they bake and prep the meal as well as prepare for the cleanup. They always use real plates and silverware for their meal, which means there must be a crew to stay and wash the dishes. Susan says using plates, silverware, and placing flowers on the table are what makes their attendees truly feel special about coming to Fridays Are Free each month. This outreach also helps their church connect with those in the community that are in need of fellowship as well as a hot, home-cooked meal. Many who attend come from the nearby senior apartment complexes and, if needed, are assisted with transportation by a volunteer. Being open to people of all ages also gives the seniors the opportunity to socialize with children and younger adults. It is while enjoying their coffee and dessert that people connect and they listen to each other about areas of concern and need. The program is also a blessing for the church as well. It is an opportunity to invite attendees to other upcoming events, and Susan says it gives new members the opportunity to join in and feel connected with their congregation, but it has also garnered new people to actually join the Christ United Methodist Church. The mission of Christ United Methodist Church is love God, love people, make disciples for Jesus Christ. Thanks to the leadership of Susan Slaughterback and her team, in the name of fellowship and support, they are showing their community firsthand what that mission means.
I'm very honored to be a guest of Wesbury tonight and thank the people that are at Wesbury that are having this event, and also for the person who nominated me for this recognition, Marie Kozad. I'm just humbled by it. And I also want to thank my church, Christ United Methodist Church, for the support that they've given the Fridays Are Free event. The motivation behind this dinner came from from Romans 12:13. Share with God's people who are in need, practice hospitality, and that's what we try to do each month. In addition to thanking Marie and our pastor and Wesbury, I also need to thank all the volunteers that come out each month. We probably have about 25 people each month that come and serve the people, our neighbors. They cook, they pour drinks, they clean tables and vacuum, wash dishes, and smile and pat a shoulder and see how people are doing. And it's a blessing to those that attend and those that work.
Twin sisters Jane Smith and Jean Shanley grew up a block away from the carousel at Conneaut Lake Park. They are both well known in the Meadville area for their nearly 4 decades of reporting for the Meadville Tribune. Jean was the society editor, and Jane worked the courthouse beat and politics. Although they have retired from the Tribune, they still work occasionally on a freelance basis. Outside of a career in keeping the citizens of the area informed and engaged on local matters, Jean and Jane are active members of the Trinity United Methodist Church in Conneaut Lake, where Jane taught Sunday school classes for 35 years and serves as secretary of the Ad Council and treasurer of the church. Jean works on the Trinity Outreach Committee, as well as the nominating committee that picks the church's annual officers. They both commit time to the funeral dinner and outreach projects of the church. Every summer, His Work His Way brings volunteers from area churches together to help their neighbors. They do as many as 50 upgrade projects on the homes of area seniors and low-income or disabled adults. Each service day, at least 40 volunteers meet for breakfast at Trinity United Methodist before going to the different job sites. They also return during the day for lunch and dinner. Jean, with the assistance of Jane, coordinates the volunteers for the various churches who cook and serve all the meals for the workers. Conneaut Lake and its history are important to them, and since 1999, they have been committed to building the Conneaut Lake Historical Society into the respected organization of 400 members it is today. They were also integral to creating the Conneaut Lake Historical Society Museum, which houses many exhibits dedicated to the Lakeland area. Jane sits on the board of directors, and Jean is the archivist and works on the exhibit committee. They are proud to say that people from 49 out of 50 states have come to visit the museum. In working to fundraise for the Historical Society, they are now coming off organizing their second annual Paddle Fest in August. Entrants of Paddle Fest bring their kayaks to the lake to complete a 3-mile course that begins and ends at Fireman's Beach. This year, they raised $2,200 for the Historical Society. Conneaut Lake is not their only area of service, as Jean and Jane volunteer monthly for the local Project Support Our Troops by making care packages that are sent to troops abroad. Civic-minded, Jean is the area's per capita assessor, and Jane is judge of elections for Meadville's 1st Ward, 2nd District. Jean also gives of her time reaching out with care and compassion to parents who have lost their children as a co-leader of Compassionate Friends of Crawford County. Jean and Jane agree when you retire, you don't get bored after 2 weeks if you pick an interest and get involved. It's clear that their interests are rich and diverse, but have a common thread that focuses on a commitment to serving their community that inspires others around them to do the same.
I just want to say thank you to Wesbury for having the dinner to pay tribute to those who give to the community. Everybody gives something, and it's nice to see people recognized for what they have been able to give. It's important to do what you like and what you enjoy doing, because it means you're going to give it your best. Thank you for those who nominated me. There are a lot of people who deserve this honor, and I appreciate it.
I too want to show my appreciation to Wesbury and to all the volunteers that do so much for the community. Without volunteers, we would not have our wonderful life that we have. It's important for the Historical Society to preserve the history for the future generations so they know what happened before they got there. It's important for the church so they can reach out to people that may need that extra little bit of help. And we just so appreciate Wesbury for all they do for everybody, whether they're rich or poor or just need some rehab, that they're there to give them to people and to show appreciation. We do appreciate what Wesbury does for our community and all the volunteers, no matter whether it's at the Historical Society, at the Humane Society, at the hospital. Every place there's volunteers, and without them, it would not be the beautiful Crawford County that we live in.
Jean Weber's roots run deep in this area. She grew up on the family dairy farm, and over 50 years later, she and her husband Brian have recently retired from farming that same land. Her family has always been hardworking and close-knit. The Webers are very involved members of their church, Calvary Baptist, in Meadville. It is also where their 3 children, who they couldn't be more proud of, attended school. She also teaches Sunday school for the little children in the Awana program, a global nonprofit ministry committed to the belief that the greatest impact for Christ starts with kids who know, love, and serve Him. Jean helps her fellow parishioners by driving them to the doctor or an out-of-town trip. As president of the Watson Runs Women's Club, which was founded by her mother, Jean finds speakers for the group each month. Jean has had a lifelong love of animals and was an Area 4-H club member as a kid. Her connection with raising animals continued as she took on the role of raising 14 puppies for the Leader Dog School for the Blind. The raising of these puppies prepares them to help empower people who are blind, visually impaired, or deaf-blind with the skills for a lifetime of independent mobility and opening doors that may seem to have closed with the loss of sight. There is a serious commitment to raising these leader dogs in terms of time and energy, and Jean is always willing to help others who have made that commitment. Helping the blind is also the mission of the Lions Club, which she has been a member of for 14 years and has had the role of past president. With the Lions, she has served in many capacities that include eyeglass screenings for preschool children and adults. On the district level, Jean is the leader dog and leader puppy chairman and solicits support from close to 50 outside Lions clubs. Jean sits on the board of the French Creek Rails to Trails and has lobbied support for the organization for many years. As the Ernst Trail expanded with an offshoot to Bailey Road, Jean worked with area landowners about what properties the trail should run through, as well as jumping on a tractor to help construct the picnic shelter at the Bailey Road trailhead. It should not come as a surprise she recently took on the job as an elementary school crossing guard for 1st District School because devotion, compassion, hardworking, and kind are words that describe Jean Weber and why we honor her tonight.
I'd really like to give my thanks and appreciation to Wesbury and the foundation for nominating me and or for my nominator, And I know it was you, Scott Ladner, so thank you very much. But I do appreciate this honor and feel like it's a really awesome, humbling responsibility that you have given to me. So I just really feel it's so important to be involved in my community. And basically, I have 3 things that are really, really important to me, and that's my faith, and my family, and my community. So I enjoy working with children, all types of things, and I love doing that. I love being involved with the Ernst Trail and feel it's very beneficial to our community, and hope that many of you enjoy taking advantage of that. So, but I love being a part of the Lions Club and all the helpful things that we do for our community. And they're so varied, but one of the really important things to me was raising leader dog puppies for the blind. And I feel that has had an impact all over the world, because some of the puppies that we raised have literally gone all over the world. So it's just a wonderful experience to be involved in all those different aspects, and I just would like to thank you again for nominating me, and I feel it's a real privilege, so thank you again very much.
For 4 years, the Ladies' Home Mission, UMC Bellevue Charge, have come together one Saturday a month for an all-day workday in the annex of the Mount Pleasant United Methodist Church near Brookville, PA. The project began when member Donna Richard was working on a similar project at a different area church and thought it would work well within her congregation. On those work days, between 10 and 20 members will arrive to begin work on making the handmade bears and blankets to be shared not only within their local area, but around the world. The morning starts with setting up their stations on both levels of the annex, though truth be told, the lower level is where much of their materials are stored, and they have a lot of materials. It is there the panels for quilt-like blankets and bear pieces are cut out and start their journey through the stations until they are completed. In one area, they are sewing pieces together. In another, they are stuffing the bears, putting batting and backings on the quilt-like blankets, or tying the no-sew fleece blankets. The ladies work in almost an assembly line fashion. According to Donna, everyone has a special something in their area and would rather serve than be served. Since its inception, the group has produced thousands of their bears and blankets to be distributed to a variety of recipients, many of whom are living in poverty. Within their region, they will provide bears to children in the emergency room at the hospital in nearby Punxsutawney or the abuse center for children. They give their blankets to babies in the neonatal unit at Du Bois Regional Medical Center, as well as residents of area nursing facilities, including Wesbury. Supporting area veterans is also important to the group. They have designed bears and blankets specifically for them out of fabrics adorned in military insignias that are sent to the VA hospitals in Butler and Erie. They also produce for mission work in many countries around the world, and they keep a map in the lower level showing where many of their items have been sent. For example, when Du Bois oral surgeon Dr. Jeffrey Rice gives of his time and talents to mission work in Africa, he brings along boxes of bears from the Ladies' Home Mission Bellevue Charge for the children. The Ladies' Home Mission Bellevue Charge is a self-supporting group. They have a fundraiser each Memorial Day on a nearby I-80 rest area where they bring many of their military items that travelers just love. They also receive support in forms of discounts and coupons from their local Jo-Ann Fabrics. While only meeting once a month, the Ladies' Home Mission Bellevue Charge are working to bring comfort and smiles to people locally and globally, an endeavor truly deserving of recognition.
Thank you, Wesbury, for honoring us this year, 2017. It was quite a surprise, and it was quite a surprise to our girls. I could not do what we do here if I did not have God behind me. God has been my rock, and there's been times where I wanted to throw my hands up and say, okay, but no, we didn't do it. 4 years later, here we are. It's just been a wonderful mission. It's been a wonderful ride. Sure, it has its ups and downs, but the help we give to children, the help we give to cancer patients, the veterans, the hospitals, everything and everywhere. Our reward, and I know the girls feel the same way, is when we go and give, and the recipient, the looks on their faces. That is our reward, and we thank you very much for honoring us this year.